The Afrika Korps, a German Afrika Korps, was the German expeditionary force in Africa during the North African campaign of World War II. First sent as a holding force to shore up the Italian defense of their African colonies, the formation fought on in Africa, under various appellations, from March 1941 until its surrender in May 1943. The unit's best-known commander was Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. Organization: the Afrika Korps formed on the 11th of January 1941 on one of Hitler's favorite generals, Erwin Rommel, was designated as commander on the 11th of February. Originally Hans von Funk was to have commanded it, but Hitler loathed von Funk, as he had been a personal staff officer of Werner von Fritsch until von Fritsch was dismissed in 1938. The German Armed Forces High Command had decided to send a blocking force to Libya to support the Italian Army. The Italian Army Group had been routed by the British Commonwealth Western Desert Force in Operation Compass. The German blocking force, commanded by Rommel, at first consisted of a force based only on Panzer Regiment 5, which was put together from the 2nd Regiment of the 3rd Panzer Division. These elements were organized into the 5th Light Division when they arrived in Africa from the 10th of February to the 12th of March 1941. In late April and into May, the 5th Light Division was joined by elements of 15th Panzer Division, transferred from Italy. At this time, the Afrika Korps consisted of the two divisions, and was subordinated to the Italian chain of command in Africa. On the 15th of August 1941, the German 5th Light Division was redesignated 21st Panzer Division, the higher formation of which was still the Afrika Korps. During the summer of 1941, the OKW increased the presence in Africa and created a new headquarters called Panzer Group Africa. On the 15th of August, the Panzer Group was activated with Rommel in command, and command of the Afrika Korps was turned over to Ludwig Krühl. The Panzer Group comprised the Afrika Korps, with some additional German units now in North Africa, plus 2 corps of Italian units. The Panzer Group was, in turn, redesignated as Panzer Army Africa on the 30th of January 1942, after the German defeat in the Second Battle of El Alamein and the Allied landings in Morocco and Algeria. Operation Torch. The OKW once more upgraded the presence in Africa by adding first the 90th Army Corps, under Nering, in Tunisia on the 19th of November 1942, then an additional 5th Panzer Army on the 8th of December, under the command of Colonel General Hans-Jürgen von Arnim. On the 23rd of February 1943, the original Panzer Army Africa, which had since been restyled as the German-Italian Panzer Army, was now redesignated as the Italian First Army and put under the command of Italian General Giovanni Messa. Rommel, meanwhile, was placed in command of a new Army Group Africa, created to control both the Italian First Army and the 5th Panzer Army. The remnants of the Afrika Korps and surviving units of the 1st Italian Army retreated into Tunisia. Command of the Army Group was turned over to Arnim in March. On the 13th of May, the Afrika Korps surrendered, along with all other remaining Axis forces in North Africa. Most Afrika Korps powers were transported to the United States and held in Camp Shelby in Mississippi and other POW camps until the end of the war. Composition and terminology. When Rommel was promoted to the newly formed Panzer Army Africa, his command included a number of Italian units, including 4 infantry divisions, 2 Italian armored divisions. Ariete and Trieste initially remained under Italian control as the Italian 20th Motorized Corps under the command of General Gaston Gambra. The Afrika Korps was restructured and renamed in August 1941. Afrika Korps was the official name of the force for less than 6 months, but the Officers and men used it for the duration. The Afrika Korps was the major German component of Panzer Army Africa, which was later renamed the Deutsche Italienische Panzer Army and finally renamed Heeresgruppe Afrika during the 27 months of the Desert Campaign. Reforming of units. Certain divisions were reformed in Europe after the cessation of fighting in Tunisia. 15th Panzer Division, 21st Panzer Division, Hermann Göring Panzer Division, 90th Light Division.